having kombucha as the drink of choice today. It's good, but it's very intense. It's like ginger, so I am flinching every time I take a sip. Hi, hello, welcome back. We are doing a mid-year goals check-in. I'm going to be looking at my 2023 goals. This is my halfway through the year sort of check-in point, and what I really want to do is create kind of an action plan and a strategy for how I can use the second half of the year to accomplish as many of my yearly goals as possible and give the goals that are a little lacking some TLC. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to my Notion yearly goals page. We're going to talk about my goals, how I'm doing with them so far, and then we're going to create a quarterly action plan for how I'm going to take steps to hopefully achieve some of these 2023 goals. It is actually a few weeks before mid-year, but I wanted to go ahead and get this video out. Here, let me get a little lap desk situation. So I'm sure plenty of you guys can probably relate to this, but personally, in the past, I've struggled a lot with setting yearly goals and then just really not looking at them throughout the year and getting to the end of the year being like, oh, these are the goals that I set. And I feel like that is a common plight. So I hope this can be a gentle little reminder to actually look at your yearly goals and make sure that you're working towards them, because I never did anything like this in years past. And I think that's part of the reason why I've struggled so much with achieving my yearly goals, sticking to my intentions, and all of that. If you just stumbled upon this video and you haven't seen my 2023 planning reset video, I recommend going to watch that because that'll give you some more context basically to the goals that I set, why I set them, etc. So this is the mid-year page that I created. Basically, I duplicated my yearly goals page so that I had a separate page to kind of mark up for this mid-year check-in, and I also added this entire section at the bottom, which we'll get to in a later part of this video, this mid-year goal rescue section. Let's focus for now on just checking in with my 2023 goals and seeing what's up. We have my vision board at the top, obviously. So first things first, my guiding word. My guiding word that I set was blooming. There's definitely been ups and downs in terms of me actually sticking to that word, but I do feel like, at least now, I feel like I'm in a place where I am growing and blooming. I am like really coming into myself. My confidence is better than it ever has been. I just feel like I have an excitement and a lust for life right now that I don't always feel. So hopefully the second half of the year, I'll continue to feel that way. So the system that I came up with for this mid-year check-in that I'm actually really excited about is that I'm going to color code these goals in green, orange, and red. So green goals is going to be things that I'm on track for or have already accomplished. Orange is going to be for the goals that I would consider at risk and in need of attention. So things that I might not accomplish and that I need to kind of prioritize in order to reach. Those are going to be the things that I really want to focus on in the second half of the year, working on those at-risk goals. And then red is going to be for the unlikely goals where I want to kind of manage my expectations. So let's start off with the YouTube and social goals. My first goal was a 20,000 subscribers goal. I'm currently sitting at about 1640 subscribers. I've only gained about 300 subscribers since the year started, and we're almost halfway through the year. So I don't think that this is likely. And when I set the goal, I knew that it was definitely a stretch goal and that it wasn't going to happen unless I had some sort of like crazy growth. And while I was hopeful for that, I think it's a little unlikely. You never fucking know. But I am gonna mark this as red because I think it's unlikely and I wanna manage my expectations. I don't wanna feel like shit if I don't hit that because I knew it was a stretch goal when I set it. So something that I wanna do for the red unlikely goals is set sort of a mid-year adjusted goal, aka kind of a more realistic goal that I want to shoot for. So it's still gonna be a bit of a goal. It's not gonna be something that's super safe or that I know I'm gonna achieve, but it's gonna be a little bit more realistic than some of these goals that I may have set. So in this case, I think my mid-year adjusted goal is gonna be 5K subscribers. We're gonna make the mid-year adjusted goals yellow. That definitely is still going to require my growth to accelerate, and it's not a safe goal by any means. I could still very well not hit that, but I do think it's a little more attainable than 20K, so it gives me something to shoot for that's less insane. By the end of the year, I'll be making $500 a month from Google AdSense. Again, I think that that's not looking very likely at this point in time. So I'm gonna mark that as a red goal as well. For my mid-year adjusted goal, I'm gonna put make $100 in 1 month by the end of the year. The highest I've made in a month so far has been like $34. So I think it's still a good goal to just aim to be able to hit the payout threshold in a single month by the end of the year. I think that's potentially doable. By Q4, I'll be taking on sponsorships regularly, 1 time a month. I don't think that that's likely either. I don't feel like I'm in a place now where I could start taking sponsorship deals. I think my adjusted goal could maybe just be to do 1 sponsorship or gifting deal with a brand by the end of the year. Will that happen? I don't know, but it's more realistic than to be taking them on regularly by the end of the year. And the last goal is by the end of the year, move to posting 2 times a week. This is an interesting one because I, at this point, kind of don't know if I really want to post twice a week. In an ideal world, I want to post twice a week, don't get me wrong. But do I think that that is manageable with a full-time job and living with somebody not so much? So I don't really feel like that's a priority for me anymore. This one's kind of unique because it's not something that I feel like I'm not able to achieve, but rather something that I'm choosing no longer to aim for to protect my sanity and the rest of my life. So my mid-year adjusted goal is just going to be to upload 5+ videos a month consistently by the end of the year. I think I've identified 5 times a month as like my sweet spot because it's a little bit more than posting once a week, but it still feels very manageable. YouTube and social, it's looking a little tragic. Thankfully, the other categories are not going to be so depressing, I promise. Continue making fitness and health a priority and part of my identity. I feel like I'm doing an amazing job with this year. This is the most consistently I think I've ever worked out in my entire life. So I'm gonna mark this as green because I think if things continue how they are now, I will feel like a true fitness girl by the end of this year. Like I'm literally out here wearing a little activewear jacket right now. I'm really like embracing the fitness girl lifestyle vibe. Book more workout classes this year at least once a month. I am absolutely on track for that. I am booking way more than 1 workout class a month. Start doing more strength training and build muscle. Also on track for this. I've definitely been doing more strength training. Do I feel like I'm at the point where I like have muscles? Not so much, but also like I've only been doing it for a bit, so I can't really expect those results yet. However, I do feel like I'm on track to, by the end of the year, if I continue how I'm doing, have like muscle. Put your money where your mouth is, spend on healthy food and fitness. I feel like I'm on track with this in terms of the fitness part. I've been spending money on like workout classes and stuff. The healthy food part, I think I could be a little bit better about. It's hard because I'm trying not to spend money currently. I'm in like a frugal era situation. If you saw my May reset, I talked about that. No, my June reset. Oh my God. If you saw my June reset, I talked about that. Those goals are kind of at odds. I would like to be spending more on like green juices, kombucha, and stuff that's like good for my gut health and all of that. Oh God, you really don't get used to that. It's really delicious though. I really like it. It just makes me flinch. So maybe I could work a little bit more on the food portion of that, but I'm not gonna beat myself up over the fact that I haven't been doing that in an attempt to save money, you know? Okay, personal and lifestyle goals. Once my income increases, start indulging in more pampering expenses, massages, nails, etc. This one is tricky because my income hasn't increased yet, so this goal hasn't really become relevant yet. I'm gonna put it as orange, aka at risk, just so that I can make sure that I put into my quarterly plan that once I get my promotion, I make sure that I do this. That's gonna be so nice to be able to put in my quarterly plan, get a massage in October. This is what goal setting is all about, putting massages on your to-do list. Move into a new apartment. Here we are. I didn't anticipate this to happen so early on in the year, but that's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn that green. And it's not even a 1-bedroom, it's a 2-bedroom. So I love that for me. Become a reader again. I would say I've become a reader again. Am I reading all the time? No. But do I have books in progress? Am I finishing books? Yeah. I'm still reading the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I'm reading nonfiction. I've been having like 1 fiction, 1 nonfiction going at the same time. And I really like that because when I'm in the mood for one or the other, I can pick up one or the other. It makes it a lot easier not to get in reading slumps because there's something I can read no matter what kind of mood I'm in, you know? I do want to work more though on not feeling guilty for reading. Hobbies that are good for me, like reading, or I've recently really been wanting to write again, which I feel like I'll talk about in a vlog or something. Those sorts of hobbies, despite the fact that consciously I'm like, those are productive uses of my time. Those are things that I want to spend time on. I struggle justifying doing them because I'm like, well, that's not going to make me money. That's not going to forward some hustle. And I want to work on that because I think my life would feel a lot more like rich and fulfilling. All of that being said, would I say that I'm a reader again? Yes. So that's on track. Be more strict about my boundaries. Never sacrifice sleep or health for productivity. I do feel like I've gotten better with this year. Am I perfect at it? No, it's definitely one of those goals that feels a little bit like a roller coaster. There are dark moments where I am up into the late hours of the night for no reason on a night where I've worked the next day. And I'm really working on eradicating that. But for the last month or so, I would say I've been really good about being strict with myself and learning when to cut myself off. Like when I have to be like, okay, this is not getting done tonight, go the fuck to bed. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark that as green because I do feel like I'm making progress. And if I stick to kind of where I'm at right now, I think I will accomplish that. Form a more solid set of friendships in LA. Start forming potential ride or die friendships. I'm gonna mark this as orange or like at risk. I definitely feel like I've made more solid friendships in LA. That's for damn sure. Do I feel like I'm on the cusp of ride or die friendships? Not so much. I need to replace my battery. I'll be right back. As I was saying, I'm setting that goal as at risk so that I can make sure to prioritize it in the second half of the year to kind of continue on that good trajectory. Social things do not come to me easily. I feel like making friends isn't something that everyone would have to put down on like a goals page. Then again, I feel like, especially in our generation, it's very common to feel a little socially isolated, like you don't have a lot of close friends. So maybe it's more common than I'm giving myself credit for. But for me personally, as an introvert with social anxiety who has a very limited social battery and tends to self-isolate quite often, it is something that I have to give very specific attention to because if left to my own devices, I will just sit in this apartment all day. Money and income goals. Make $60,000 this year post-taxes. Yeah, that's not looking very likely. If you guys have seen my monthly resets, I've shown you my income streams tracker. I'm not going to hit that probably, but I am going to substantially increase my income from last year, as well as towards the end of the year, I'm going to get a pay raise. So basically, I don't think this is going to happen because my income is only going to increase for the last few months of the year, and that's not going to be enough to get me up to that 60K point. This is also post-taxes, which makes it a way harder goal to achieve because that would require me to make like, I don't know, 85, 90K pre-tax. That was bold of me. So we're going to mark this as red. And then for my adjusted goal, I'm honestly not quite sure. There's going to be 1 month this summer where I have no income, so that's going to knock me down a little bit. Let's actually just go ahead and take a look at where I'm at in terms of my earnings so far this year. Okay, so far this year I've made almost $19,000, so I could probably safely hit 40K. Maybe even with the month off. Let's put that. I feel like that's a more realistic goal. I think next year is the year that I will finally actually hit making $60,000 in the year post-tax. And I do think I might want to recycle that goal for 2024 just because I've had it on my goals list for the past 2 years and have not come close to it. So it'll be really cool to finally be at that point where I can check that off. But this year, probably not. $5,000 a month by the end of the year. You know, I might hit one $5,000 month by the end of this year with my new position that is coming in September. I don't know exactly how much I'm going to be getting because this is all just based off of my estimates of taxes and all of that, but I think I'll be getting over $4,000 a month just from my salary. That's post-taxes. And then if I'm making a couple $100s from Poshmark and YouTube, I could potentially have a $5,000 month. So I'm going to mark that as orange because I don't think it's completely like down the drain, not realistic, but I do think it's kind of like maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. What I'm really realizing was a flaw in my goals setting strategy was for the $60,000 a year thing to be feasible, I would have had to be making 5K every month from the beginning of the year. I don't know how I didn't put together that obviously wasn't going to happen because at the end of 2022, I knew that I wasn't making $5,000 a month currently. And if I only expected it to go up to 5K a month at the end of the year, like that was never a realistic goal. Sure, being ambitious is one thing, shooting for the stars is one thing, but that 60K goal was kind of setting myself up for failure a little bit. Next year, I really do want to be more realistic with my goals because I want to have things that are actually within reach on my goal sheet. Build my emergency fund to 2 times my monthly rent. I think this is unlikely. I'm gonna go ahead and set that as red. For my mid-year adjusted goal, I think I'm gonna put build my emergency fund to 1 times my monthly rent, like just have my monthly rent in my emergency fund. I think that might be doable by the end of the year. But I also want to make it clear that just because I am setting these adjusted goals and marking things as red and all of that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop trying to achieve the original goal, right? Like all of the goals that I adjusted, there's still things that I'm trying and working towards in the ways that I currently know possible. Something that I'm noticing here and that I actually think is good is that a lot of the goals that are red, pretty much all the goals that are red, are things that are not directly in my control, except maybe the emergency fund one. Sure, I could have been more frugal this year and saved more. But like the YouTube growth goals, the income goals, not completely in my control. I am doing things from my side to try and make those things happen, but like I can't control my YouTube growth, you know? Versus a lot of the goals that are in my control, like my health and fitness goals, my lifestyle goals, they're looking a lot better. We have a lot of green, a couple orange, but mostly green. And that to me is a good sign because it means that for the goals that I can completely control, I'm doing a really good job. So I'm really proud of that. Now that we've gone over my 2023 goals, we're gonna perform a little CPR, give some TLC to these goals with the mid-year goal rescue section that I created. I'm just realizing that I actually created a section for the mid-year adjusted goals down here, but I did them up there. Whoops. But let's go ahead and put my at-risk goals in this list here, just so we know what we want to focus on when we do the quarterly breakdown. Okay, now I'm going to put the adjusted goals in this bottom section. Okay. This is quite a long list, but I transferred everything down here just so I know the at-risk and adjusted goals so I can plan for them. Let's create a bit of a quarterly plan here. So this is where my new, sorry, my brain just gave out. Wow, okay. September is where my new paychecks, my higher income is going to kick in. That's when I start my new position. The stuff that relies on my income increase, I'm going to go ahead and put into quarter 4. Also, I want to include a little bit of this put your money where your mouth is goal in quarter 4 because I will have more money and I can afford to spend a little bit more on health related things. So in October, I'm going to go ahead and set a goal to drink more pressed juices. That's so silly, but I love that for me. And then let's put something pampering related. So I'm going to put get a massage. Now I need to proceed a little bit with caution here because I don't want to have crazy, insane lifestyle creep when I get my promotion. Do I feel like it's likely to happen a little bit? Maybe, because I feel like I'm just going to be so excited to have the money to spend on things that I have not had the money to spend on, but I'm going to try to avoid it as much as I can. In terms of forming a more solid set of friendships, I think that a goal that I want to set is just to text my friends more because I've noticed that like back in high school and college, a lot of my friendships were heavily maintained through like online communication, like texting and things like that. And I kind of miss that era. I know like texting doesn't hit the same as an adult as it does when you're like an angsty teen. I get that. But also like I kind of miss that very casual communication, knowing what's going on in each other's heads and like sending each other random thoughts. Even just being like, you know, I'm thinking of you, how are you? Things like that. So one of my goals for July is going to be to text my friends more, start up conversations, ask what's up, have more variety of conversation too. I think that would be so fun. I know some adults are texting their friends all the time and I want to be one of those adults, okay? Also, I don't feel like a fucking adult. Like I'm being dramatic. I'm 23. I want to put somewhere to get my nails done because that's also part of the pampering thing that I want to do in Q4. So let's just go ahead and put get my nails done in December. I feel like that'll be fun because it'll be right before the holidays. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can do for this friendship goal. For August, I think I'm going to set a goal to try to see each of my friends once this month. This isn't going to apply to like peripheral acquaintances. It's going to be more like the friendships that I am trying to work on and build. I want to try and see each of them that month. And I just want to make sure that I'm not neglecting something that could potentially, you know, blossom into an incredible friendship. Any friendships that I see potential in, I do want to nurture. So that will help me do that. August is also going to be the month where I am not working. So I'm going to be fun employed unemployed for a month. I'm taking a gap in between my current position and my new position. So that's going to be really fun. So I have a feeling that's going to be a very social month. So I'm going to put to be more spontaneous with social plans, because that month I really want to like kind of release the ideas of what I should be doing and allow myself to just kind of go with the flow a little. Try to say yes more. I'll put that actually in parentheses there. I find in periods of my life where I'm just making an effort to say yes more often when people propose things to me, life does feel a little bit more exciting and also just a little bit more of a sense of adventure in your life. Depending on how quarter 3 goes in terms of friends, maybe I'll have ideas for quarter 4, but I like these social goals. Okay, so let's talk about some of these adjusted goals. So for the YouTube goals, I think one of the main things that I could do to make it more possible for me to grow is to just continue like trying to create a variety of videos so that I'm giving myself as many chances as possible for my channel to grow. And also I think putting that little extra effort into each video, whether that's being a little more meticulous with editing, putting more effort into adding graphics and things, or taking the planning process a little bit more seriously. So I'm going to put on my July goals to just continue putting a little extra effort into each video. Thumbnails, editing, planning, shot types. I want to keep being creative with my content and trying new things. Also for July, I'm going to create a variety of different video types. In August, since I'm going to be in my fun employed era, I think it would be fun to try and upload a little bit more, as well as it's going to be a busy time for my boyfriend's work. So he's probably going to be out of the apartment more, and it's just going to be a really good opportunity to just like make the most of that time and go really hard with YouTube. So I'm going to set a goal to upload 2 times a week, with the exception of my vacation week. So let's address this goal down here of building my emergency fund. I think realistically, I'm not going to be able to save much money until I get my new position, and I'm probably not going to start getting those paychecks until October. Starting in October, I'm going to make a goal to save $750 towards my emergency fund. If I can do that in October, November, and December, I will hit past my monthly rent in my emergency fund. The last adjusted goal I want to address is to do 1 sponsorship by the end of the year. So realistically, maybe I can try to set that up in November. So let me put that on my November list. Try to set up 1 sponsorship / gifting deal. We'll see. That could either be really easy or really difficult depending on how my channel's doing at that point in time. You know what? I do think I'm going to set 1 sort of social intention for September that's very simple. It's not going to require a ton of effort because like I said, I'll be starting a new job. I don't want to overwhelm myself. But I think it'd be really fun to have friends over for a sushi and movie night. So that's my quarterly plan on how to make sure that I am prioritizing my yearly goals in the second half of 2023. All right, that is it for this video. I'm feeling really, really good about 2023 so far. Am I going to accomplish all of my goals for this year? Probably not. Am I okay with that? Absolutely. A lot of my goals for the year were stretch goals. They were ambitious, they were not safe goals, and I knew that going into this year. So I'm not going to be devastated if I don't accomplish everything. Let me know how your 2023 goals are going so far in the comments. Also, if you are not subscribed and this is your first time on the channel, hello. My name is Brielle. I make lots of content around post-grad lifestyle, personal development, productivity. If any of that interests you, which it probably does if you're watching this video, you should totally subscribe and stick around for more content. We have a lot of fun over here and I would love to have you. I need a snack and to finish this kombucha because I just talked for a long time. That's it for this video and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.